What's up guys, Oscar Gomez here for Master Automotive Training. You know, voltmeters are one of the most searched tools on YouTube, and honestly, many people use them wrong. Today we're breaking down voltage, what it actually is, how to read your meter, and why it matters. So stick around. So what is voltage? Think of voltage like water pressure in a pipe. Voltage is electrical pressure or potential of energy pushing electrons from one point to the other. We call it potential difference because it's always measured between 2 points. Not measured between 2 points, no voltage. Simple as that. So now let's talk about meters. Is there a difference? Absolutely. The meter I'm holding in my hand is an automotive meter. As long as you have a meter that you're able to use and you understand how to use it, and most importantly, it has 10 mega ohms of internal impedance, you can use it. So looking at the meter, the V for volts, this is volts AC, and that is volts DC. In most cases in automotive, we're gonna be using volts DC. There are some times where we will be using volts AC, but that would be more for specific diagnostic purposes. Perfect example, you're testing an alternator. You wanna see if the alternator rectifier diode has an issue. How do you test that? Well, you put your meter into volts AC, you connect it to battery ground and alternator output, and that's how you're gonna measure the ripple coming out of that alternator. What we're gonna be doing today is I'm gonna show you guys how to use our voltmeter in volts DC on a test board that I have here in the classroom. This way you guys can understand it a lot better. When we're talking about DC volts, DC is direct current, steady, one direction. That's what you get from a battery and a bench power supply like we're gonna be using here. That also means that the voltage rides above zero. And when we're talking about AC, we're talking about alternating current. It flips back and forth and it comes out of your wall outlet, and AC voltage will go above and below zero. So it's a good thing for you guys to remember when it comes to understanding AC and DC volts. The other thing I forgot to mention is this is an auto ranging meter. So that means that when I turn it on to volts DC, my meter is going to auto adjust based off of the measurement that I'm actually taking on whatever I'm testing. If you have an old school meter that has a 2 volt, 5 volt, and a 200 volt, that would mean that you have non-auto ranging meter. So you have to set the voltage range. If you have one of those, my suggestion is upgrade to an auto ranging meter. Now that we have all the science down, let's go over to the board and show you what voltage actually looks like on an auto ranging automotive meter. Let's check it out. All right guys, so for context, I'm using a bench power supply. I'm set at 12.6 volt, and right now the circuit is on and it's drawing about 620 milliamps. You notice my red for positive, my blue is my ground, and they come over here to my points on my test board. Here's my ground, here's my power. From there, we go to a fuse block, and then we have a simple switch here that turns the circuits on and off. And from a distance, you guys could see that this is a parallel circuit with 3 individual branches. So now that we have that down, let's go ahead and set up our meter with our 2 leads. And then this way we can take an initial measurement of voltage potential. So this way we can see what our starting voltage is, and then we'll go from there. Let's check it out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my leads. I'm gonna take my black lead, that goes to the COM port. And then my red lead is gonna go to my red voltage lead port here. We have an amperage port here and a milliamp port. We're not using those today. We're using the voltage one, so we're gonna go there. Once we have that, then I'll turn my meter on by setting it to volts DC, and now we are ready to measure. When it comes to using your voltmeter, back in the old days when we had analog meters, the ones with the needle, we were always taught that the black lead goes to the most negative potential and the red lead to the most positive potential. That would be a good starting point today to use as a rule of thumb. However, it's not necessary. If I put these on backwards, it will no longer cause an issue, which I'll demonstrate here. The only thing you're gonna get is a negative reading on your meter. Okay, so if you accidentally flip your leads, it's not a big deal. You're just gonna get a negative reading. So the first thing you always wanna do anytime that you're doing any type of electrical measurement is start with your source voltage. So we're gonna go across our 2 connectors here, just like if it was a battery, and we got 12.21 volts of voltage potential. That means that from this point here to this point here, I have 12.21 volts of potential difference, okay? So this is why using a meter is gonna help me understand that I have the voltage ability to actually do something with the circuit. However, current is the one that's going to tell you if something's actually happening in the circuit itself. So during the introduction, I told you guys that when we're measuring voltage, we have to measure from 2 points. So I'm going to put my black lead on what's simulating a engine ground, which is right here. And I'm going to take my red lead right over here to my power feed of my first load, which is this one right here. And if you guys notice, at this power feed, I have 12.07 volts coming to this particular light. And if we remember, voltage is going to be the potential, right? So the difference between here and the positive side of this load is 12 volts. Now, one other test that's super important in automotive is voltage drop testing. So here I am on the ground side, right? So if I go to the ground of my load, you can notice that I have 290 millivolts of voltage drop. That means that from this point here to the point where my red lead is, I have the potential difference of 200, actually now it's 230 millivolts. Okay, so there's a difference between here and here. Now, the other test I can do when it comes to voltage, and I'm going to take both leads, and I'm going to go just simply across the one load. And if you notice, across the one load, I am at 11.82 volts. Now, why is it different? Here, if you guys notice, between this point here and this point here, we had a roughly 230 millivolts, which would indicate that from here to here, we have a little bit of resistance. So that resistance is reflecting on the amount of voltage potential we have across this one load. This is why here at the what we call the battery, we had 12.2, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you guys will tell me in the comments. Here we had 12.21 there, and then once I came over here, we only had under 12. So that's because we had extra resistance that was dropping the voltage across the actual load. So another test that we normally do when it comes to automotive diagnostics and still in volts DC is called walking the meter. We start here at our load, and if you notice, my load right now is at 12.07, 12.08 volts. So walking the meter is going to indicate now I'm going from my load and I'm going back. So I'm going right here to this junction. At this junction, I'm at 12.08, 12.07, it's roughly the same. So then from there, I'm gonna go back to my output of my switch, fluctuating pretty badly. So 12.10, 12.9, somewhere around there. Now I'm gonna go to the input side of the switch, and that puts me at 12.17, 15, somewhere around there. So that means that from the input side of the switch to the output side of the switch, we have a little bit of resistance. We have some voltage loss. We're dropping voltage across this actual switch. Now from there, I'm gonna go to the output side of my fuse box, which is giving me 12.3. And then if I go to the input side, I'm getting 12.367. And then if I go back to the battery, then now I'm at 12.5. Okay, so if you guys notice, if you followed along, when we started here at the load, our voltage was at 12.8. And when we ended up back at the battery or the source voltage, we were at 12.489, 12.5. So that means that from this point all the way back to this load, we had a loss of roughly 500 millivolts. So we were losing voltage all the way along the circuit in these individual points. That is what we call walking the meter. If I were to suspect that I had an issue with my electrical circuit, that's how I would move my meter across the specific points to verify if I have an issue. So here, I want to simulate an issue with this particular load. If I go from my lead is still on the ground side. If I go to the ground side of my load, you'll notice my voltage drop there is roughly around 170 millivolts. Now, if I go to the power side, you're gonna see that I'm at 12.2, 12.3 volts. So this is telling you that we have the ability of ground and we have power. This means that you have a bad load. Now, another test I could do is I'm gonna take both leads and I'm gonna go directly across the actual load. Directly across the load, you guys notice that I have source voltage. So this means that I have ground on this side and I have power on this side, but my load is dead. This would indicate that I have a bad load, okay? And anytime I say load, that is anything that uses current, anything that consumes current. That could be a motor, that could be a light, it really doesn't matter. So that right there is a good simple way for you guys to verify if that circuit is actually trying to turn on, and if it's a bad load or if it's a bad ground or a bad power. So right here, guys, I'm gonna do a voltage drop test from the power side of the, what we call our battery, to the power side of our particular load. If you guys notice, we got about 369 millivolts of voltage drop on the power side. What this is indicating is that from our power source here all the way around to our load over here, we have a voltage drop of roughly 360 millivolts. That means you're losing voltage from this point all the way across up to this point right here. When it comes to powers, you typically want to be around 300 millivolts because this is a board that we built with some really cheap Amazon stuff. This is why we have that voltage drop. You don't want to see that on a standard vehicle setup. If you do see more than 300 millivolts on a power, that indicates you have an issue or a excessive resistance within that circuit. And on a ground side, it's 200 millivolts or less. More than that, you have unwanted resistance within that circuit. And that's it for today, guys. I hope this video was useful on how to use an auto-ranging automotive meter in volts DC to do some voltage drop testing and some potential voltage tests on a circuit or a circuit board. It applies inside of a car. All you got to do is, instead of using a board or simulation, you're using an actual car. The data doesn't lie. YouTube data says that a lot of you guys watch these videos, but most of you guys don't follow or subscribe. Do me a huge favor, give us a follow, give us a like, drop a comment on any videos you guys would want to see in the future. The next video coming up is we're going to talk more about the A, or amps, in an electrical circuit using an automotive meter. Really appreciate you guys being around here today. You guys are freaking awesome. This is Oscar Gomez from Master Automotive Training, bettering the automotive industry one technician at a time. This starts with you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.